Let us start meditation. We will keep our eyes open for a few seconds. Keeping the eyes looking at the depth of each metaphor's forehead for a short while. Really try to keep our mind. And when we feel more in the present, and check going on. Stop and close our eyes. Bring our attention within ourselves for the representative channel of Chakra. So during our last session in person on Saturday at Shah Jaga Center, Thailand, we emphasized in particular about the importance of the seventh chakra, which is the Sahasrara chakra, and it's also a particular time in early May, on 5th of May, every year. Sahajas around the world really celebrate what we call Sahasrara Day, like the day of the seventh chakra. Also, in line with the birth, the starting point of Sahaja, when in 1970, on 5th of May, Srimataji Nirmala Devi, the founder, was very young then and an avid seeker and, in a way, seeker of truth, or more than that. I think she was really born, and she describes it, and in her biography, several of her biographies, this story can be read. It's very interesting, but essentially, more than this seeker, I wanted to say she was really born with that energy, really fully awakened. She had that in her, and she more or less knew from her young age that she had a particular mission And so on 5th of May 1970, she experienced really a breakthrough in the evolution of spirituality, where she witnessed the opening of the last chakra. And there's a short video that explains that, and she describes her experience. So I would want to watch it. It's short, but I mean it's a very significant event. Before I play the video, I wanted to emphasize that it's a very significant event for Sahaja Yoga in that sense that it's only then, after the awakening of that last chakra at a cosmic level, that the experience of self-realization, the awakening of the energy on a mass scale could be achieved. So I would like to continue meditation by watching this short excerpt which Mataji describes. So it's part of a short documentary about her life. And then we may watch another short talk which Mataji explains about the benefits of opening that last chakra, which is really the starting point of Sahaja Yoga meditation, the awakening of that energy and the opening, the piercing of the 7th chakra by the Kundalini, the sacred energy. Let's meditate by watching that short talk, that short excerpt of a documentary. Hope you can hear. It's just about 5 minutes.
Following this, Sri Mataji began teaching a small group of seekers how to meditate. Following this, Sri Mataji began teaching a small group of seekers how to meditate. She stood behind each individual and raised the Kundalini by placing her hands on the various energy centers along the spine. This was a natural process which awakened their residual power of pure desire. She awakened this power called Kundalini, which lay dormant in the sacrum bone at the base of the spine, coiled in 3.5 coils. When awakened, it rose up the spinal cord, connecting and enlightening the energy centers.
Just a second. Apologies for that.
After raising her children to adulthood and seeing them happily married, Sri Mataji had fulfilled her responsibilities as a mother and a householder, and was prepared to embark upon her true life's work, the emancipation of humanity. Having been invited to the ashram of a prominent local guru in 1970, she was shocked to see him looting people in the name of spirituality. Suddenly aware that the seekers everywhere were in danger from this future trend, Sri Mataji searched deep within herself for a solution. She spent the entire night on the seashore contemplating. And in the early hours of the morning, disgust with the falsehood she had witnessed and compassion for her children everywhere forced her to act. She meditated upon the Sahasrara, the energy center on the crown of the head, and prayed that all the seekers of truth would eventually receive their enlightenment and bring about the dawning of collective consciousness in humanity. She describes this historic event.
As soon as Sahasrara was open, the whole atmosphere was filled with tremendous Chaitanya, and there was tremendous light in the sky, and the whole thing came on this earth as if a torrential rain or a waterfall with such a tremendous force as if I was unaware and got stupefied. The happening was so unexpected and so tremendous that I was stunned and I became completely silent at its grandeur. I saw the primordial Kundalini rising like a big furnace, and the furnace was very silent but burning appearance it had, as if you heat up some metal and it has many colors. In the same way, the Kundalini showed up like a huge furnace which is like a tunnel where you see these plants you have for coal burning to create electricity, and it stretched like a telescope. One after another came out like that, and the deities came and sat on their seats, on their golden seats, and then they lifted the whole of the head like a big dome and opened it, and then this torrential rain completely drenched me, and I started seeing all that and got lost into the joy. It was like an artist seeing its own creation fulfilled. I felt the joy of great fulfillment.
After emerging from this beautiful experience, Sri Mataji looked around and saw the blindness of human beings, and she became absolutely silent. She desired that everyone should attain their self-realization in order that their eyes could be opened. Her vision for humanity had come into focus and was beginning to unfold.
So let's continue to meditate with a short talk, and then I'll explain a bit more about the Sahasrara chakra, the last chakra.
Today is a day when I should be talking about Sahasrara.
The sound quality is not perfect on that talk, it's an mentioned talk, and as mentioned, was focusing in particular on the Sahasrara chakra, the seventh chakra on top of the head, which is a very important chakra, and it's because Sunday we celebrated like Sahasrara Day, which is the opening of the last chakra, and then mention that a bit more towards the end.
Because tomorrow is a day of Sahasrara, and that is the greatest blessing of Sahaja Yoga after Christ's advent. Even if you accept your sins, you are to be given realization. Without realization, it has no meaning. And so, this Sahaja Yoga, which is today's Mahayoga, came into being because you all have to be realized. You have to know yourself. The self, that is the spirit. That is the only way we can know God. There is no other way that we can know God. We have to be our spirit. The second thing that we in all the Christian nations have done is to forget our spirit. It is a double catch. if the ego develops, it covers your heart. You can even become emotionless. When it covers your heart, then the heart becomes like a stone and the spirit does not shine. All the time what you have to say, that I am the spirit. All the realized souls have to say, I am the spirit. I am not this body, not this mind, not this superego, none of these upadhis as they call them. But I am the spirit, the pure spirit I am. If you could recognize that part in you, that you are the spirit, your realization will be fully established. As long as you are identified with other things, this cannot be established. So first and foremost thing you have to recognize is that you are the spirit. You are not the thoughts which are overcrowding you. You are not the fears with which you suffer. You are not the ambitions with which you run. But you are that pure spirit which never changes, which is eternal, which is blissful, which is Satchitan. We all Sahajogis have to know that we are the spirit. This is the mantra that one has to recite for heart catching. If your heart is not clean, you can never get realization. Anybody who comes with funny ideas about me, you have seen, he never gets realization. You have to have clean heart. You have to cleanse your heart. That's why I sometimes say that you have to put your Guru into your heart, who will clean your heart. Just to clean your heart. As you employ a maid in the house to clean your heart, you can employ your mother for that purpose. Cleansing is my job. Morning till evening I am cleansing. That's my name is also. But cleansing is such a big thing, that brings forth everything else with it. If there is dust on the diamond, on any diamond, which may be very expensive, you cannot see it. In the same way, if your spirit is clouded with doubts and fears, cunningness, then your spirit cannot shine. Now it is such a vicious circle that it is not easy to break. Even there your mind can cheat you. For Sahajogi it is very easy, just to sit before my photograph. You put your left hand here and one on your heart and say, I am the spirit. Mother, I am the spirit. Now Sahasrara breaking took place on the 5th of May 1970. I was just pushed into it. And I said one has to now break it. And if you see a very thin line of Kundalini really breaks the Sahasrara through the heart chakra. Here is the heart chakra. Through the heart chakra point only it breaks. If your heart is not clean, it will not break. So the first and the foremost thing is your Shiva Tattva, is your heart. Heart must be kept absolutely clean. There should be nothing that is doubting, that is confused, that is angry, that is ambitious, that is afraid of, nothing of that kind should be in the heart. Just be confident. Just leave it into the hands of God. Because that is the point where the Kundalini takes it. And if that point is heavy, you can never break the sastra. But the main thing is you have come to ask for something so great. You have to have a heart which is humble, steadfast, and also proud of itself. Because in this heart is the spirit which is going to be enshrined.
Let's take a few minutes to reflect on that important message and continue to meditate with our attention on top of our head. Keep the eyes closed, keep the attention on top of the head. Shmataji was describing really the whole process to keep the last chakra awakened and open, as the heart chakra is on the head at the very center of the last chakra. She described also, she used Sanskrit word referring to the spirit, pure spirit, which is Sat Chit Ananda, which means truth, consciousness, and bliss. So she describes we have to identify ourselves with the spirit, which is just that, pure joy, pure existence, truth. Let's keep our attention there on top of our head and find that silence between the thoughts. Let's try and imbibe the peace, the harmony that we may achieve through meditation, as if we want to stockpile on it for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, as much as we can. We can always come back to that center point inside us, the very center of the last chakra. And we are grateful with the practice of Sahja Yoga meditation. We can really establish more firmly this connection, this opening of the last chakra through the process of self-realization and regular meditation practices. And let's desire, because the desire is really the engine for that process. Let's desire more of that opening of the last chakras. It's more of the Kundalini energy that needs to come out, manifest, to firmly ground us and establish as our connection with the all-pervading energy of the divine. So we can do namaskar, join our hands, express our gratitude, be grateful for the meditation, for this moment of peace and calm, quietness before the start of the day. And we can raise the energy again. We use the right hand and left hand to raise the whole energy and tie a symbolic knot on top of the head. We do it 3 times for each of the energy channels. So we want to keep that state of awakening of the energy. So that's why we tie a symbolic knot. And then we do like a bandana or protection. We use our right hand and start from the left hand for all over the body, like a subtle protective aura or protective, coat we are placing on our subtle body on the 7th chakra. 7 times. Come and go 7 times. Semicircle. It's like a rainbow shape, which is a very auspicious shape, like the horseshoe, which brings good luck. So we do that with our full attention that we're protecting our subtle body, our aura. Do it 7 times. So you can keep meditating for a little while longer in silence, but typically we would end the broadcast around here. So thank you very much for joining. So good you could join Kathy all the way from China. It's a bit short. We keep it 30 minutes. We must start exactly on time. So it's a bit short, but people sometimes may also do it later, so then more people benefiting. And if you have any questions, as usual, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll share the link. I think that video, really like it. And the documentary, interesting part of our life. Manjit is the founder. So I guess we end there. So thank you very much for joining and hope to keep in touch and see you again very soon.